Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Priyanka and I'm here to help you navigate through life with a leap of faith and positivity. On this channel, we talk about anything that makes this human experience a little more soothing, a little more smoother of an experience. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about self-love, what self-love is, and then why should we practice self-love, and then I'm gonna give you a few methods by which you can practice self-love. Now let's start by defining what self-love actually is. Self-love is when we learn to accept ourselves just the way that we are. Self-love is loving all the best parts of ourselves, that includes our strengths, while also being patient and accepting the parts of ourselves that we deem undesirable. To love ourselves is to not judge or compare ourselves to someone else. The simple way that you can really begin your self-love journey is through replacing the thoughts of judgment with those of self-acceptance and self-compassion. But before we dive any further, I want to remind you of something very important. I want to remind you that each of you is a unique person. I want to remind you that your existence is not an accident. Let's think about it for a second. When you were being born, there were literally a million sperm cells that were competing to enter into this world, but the divine chose you. The same divine, the same infinite intelligence that has created the planet Earth and all the other seven planets. It's the same force that has created all these stars, the sun, the moon, like everything in the galaxy. There's so much going on in the universe that we are not even aware of, and that is the same force that has created everything with so much of perfection, with the finest and minute of details with perfection. How could that same infinite intelligence and that divine force go wrong with you? And not only did the divine force create you, but it created a whole team of light just for you. Our angels, our spirit guides, our ancestors. They solely exist to love you unconditionally, to protect you, to guide you, to assist you whenever you need their guidance or their protection or their assistance. Therefore, it is important to remember that each person is as unique as fingerprints. We were taught in our science classes that no two people in the world have the same fingerprints, right? And it is not just our fingerprints that are unique from each other, but each and every aspect of our personality is. The way that we act, the way that we speak, the way that we think, our likes, the things we do like, the things we don't like, our set of skills and talents, and the way that we do things. It is all so unique and so different from each other. This quote by Einstein perfectly fits in here. That quote goes like, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Okay? This is the most crucial yet the missing element when it comes to embracing and accepting ourselves. The reason that we lack in the department of self-love is because we immediately start comparing ourselves to someone else when we think that someone else is prettier or funnier or smarter or taller or has a better body than us. This happens because we have not fully grasped the concept that we are all unique. Because of this, we fail to accept ourselves. And the next point that links it into this concept is that we are too attached to the way that we want to be perceived by the world. With this attachment comes the desire to control people's perceptions of us. which is why I see people do crazy things just to be loved a little more, just to be accepted a little more, because they just want to show a side of them that they want the world to see about themselves. And when we don't get that external validation, we start to think that there's something wrong with us. Let's say that you're walking down the street with a friend and then you see this cute guy, and the next thing you know, that cute guy starts talking to your friend. Okay, now in this situation, if you haven't done the inner work, you will start thinking that maybe you're not pretty enough, or maybe you don't seem approachable enough for someone else to come and talk to you, right? But if you have the inner awareness, you will start thinking thoughts such as their self-worth, your self-worth does not depend on whether or not this cute guy finds you attractive. You're worthy, you're beautiful just the way that you are. In that case, you would still be aware of how truly beautiful you are. When we learn to embody the concept of our uniqueness, we naturally detach from the idea of someone else being better than us, and so therefore we do not internalize or participate in that inner dialogue that goes through our mind of self-comparison or self-judgment. Right? Now, why do we need to practice self-love? When we practice self-love, we learn to trust ourselves, and we learn to listen to our inner voice more. We make decisions that are in alignment with our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. We become discerning of who does and does not deserve our energy. We naturally become lucky, and we become energetic magnets to whatever it is that we want to attract. Even when we have practiced self-love, there will be situations when we will face rejections. Self-love does not mean that we don't face any rejections. We will still face rejections, but when we do attract opportunities, be it in love, career, finances, relationships, jobs, those opportunities will be the right ones for you. Because when you're attracting these opportunities, when you're radiating at that frequency of self-love and self-acceptance, you will attract jobs that radiate at the same frequency as you, because it is all a game of vibrations, right? Yeah, so now that we have touched upon the basics, let's talk about some of the methods to practice self-love. Okay, method number 1 is to practice bringing attention and awareness for a few minutes whenever you can throughout the day. Now, think of this as a meditation practice. To practice this, start by sitting in a comfortable position and take a few deep breaths to center yourself to the present moment. Now, after having done that, you might want to place your hands in a prayer position in front of your heart like this, or in front of your chest like this, or you might even want to bring your hands in front of your chest, in front of your heart like this. And I want you to then embody this concept that I just talked about, that you are a part of the divine plan. Your existence is meaningful. And to deepen this experience, what I like to do is that I like to think of any signs that I might have received on that day, because that reminds me that I'm not doing this life alone, that my angels are always looking out for me, that the universe is always looking out for me. So yeah, that helps me. You could use the same concept, or basically anything that reminds you of your divinity, that reminds you of your connection with the divine. Okay, and after that, I want you to bring your attention to all the ways that you already do practice self-care. Maybe you have a 7 a.m. morning routine, that maybe you wake up earlier every day so that you have enough time for your morning routine every day. Or it might be the joy that comes from making and drinking your coffee every morning, because I absolutely love that. That is a part of my morning routine, and that's so dear to me. I love making my coffee and saying my affirmations, and then sitting with my coffee and then reading my book. That maybe you have a healthy response to stress. Maybe you like to take nature walks with your friend or your pet, or just on your own. Or it could even be thinking of a time when you allowed yourself the luxury to just stay in bed all day long with your Ben and Jerry's, because that is what you needed in the moment. So I want you to bring your focus on all these things in which you already do or have practiced self-care. Okay, it is so easy for us to disregard these little practices, but when we bring our attention to practices to fill our own cup, that sends a signal to our brain that our happiness is important, what we want is important, and what you focus on grows. This practice is all about appreciating and acknowledging the practices that we do for our own self. Now, method number 2 is to observe your surroundings. This method is best practiced when you're not feeling the best about yourself. Maybe you're just sitting in your room and you start thinking of a past event, and all of a sudden you're feeling rejected, or you're doubting your self-worth, or you think you're like you're not good enough, right? Because we all have those moments. Practice this. Take a moment to observe 5 things in your surroundings that you have created or organized. It could be the art that's hanging on your wall, or the affirmations that you wrote to tailor to your liking, or it could be the way that you organize your space, or the way that you have categorized your wardrobe, or it could even be the way that you style your clothes. Maybe you have a piece of art that's hanging on your wall, even when you don't consider yourself an artist, but it still holds meaning for you because it was your first time ever creating that art with your best friend, and that is all that mattered to you. Everything around you is a reflection of your inner self. Everything that you do, the way that you do things, is what is unique about you. And when you bring your attention to these things, it reminds you of who you are. So focus on your space for a few minutes and you will feel a shift in your energy. Okay. Now, method number 3 is looking at the bigger picture. This method is built upon method number 2, but it expands it on a broader perspective. To practice this, make a folder and keep a track of all the things that you're proud of and that you love, and visit them often. It could be that you love singing and dancing in front of your bathroom mirror, or record yourself cooking delicious meals, or record yourself talking about a piece of advice that you gave to your friend that made them look at the situation differently, or that piece of advice gave a perspective to your friend on that situation. Make a separate folder on your phone that is solely dedicated for this purpose. Now, this is important because when you see someone, when they talk about things or topics that sets their soul on fire, their eyes and voice lights up, and their body language is more open and confident, right? This practice will help you see yourself through the same lens, and it will help you tap into your authenticity. So yeah, this is all that I had to say today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me. And if you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and please press the bell icon so that you are notified for every time I post a video. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I want you to comment down below about things that bring you joy, and what are you going to record yourself doing that brings you joy, and what's gonna go into your folder that I talked about. Okay, so yeah, this is all that I had to say today, and thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.